Yo, JD here, and as you can see, we're going to be talking about something that I haven't had to do for quite some time, and it's been a bit refreshing not having to do so because, believe it or not, I've actually enjoyed myself on this game. Don't get me wrong, F1 24 does have many things I think it can improve. That's originally what today's video was actually going to be about. But recently there has been a bit of a stir in the community, and unfortunately it is surrounding the topic once again of cheating, more specifically cheating in the world of F1 Esports. And this is something that we have heard far too often in the past, with even myself making multiple videos on the topic, for which the main issue was that the F1 Esports actually allowed players to play from home during, I think it was the 22 season or maybe even the 21 season as well. So they were completely unrestricted and playing with their own PCs. The problem with that is that we have seen in real life sport and obviously in the esports world, people will do anything they can to exploit the game and unfortunately go around the rules to give themselves the best possible opportunity of winning. And in this case, when there is $750,000 on the line, which I think has been the case for the past couple of seasons, in a perfect world, people would be abiding by the rules. But when you allow opportunities to people to go around the rules and to not be caught doing it, then I wish you could say people wouldn't do this, but it happens, and it will continue to happen unless there is an anti-cheat system put in place or it is very, very restricted. And with this anti-cheat system, this wasn't actually put in place till F1 23, and we've been having F1 Esports from 2017 onwards, so that was pretty incredible. But the last season of F1 Esports I felt was actually pretty good. It had a bit of drama at the start. There was a bit of a discussion of whether the season would actually continue, and because we had the round 1 and then there was no announcement for the round 2, it was all on LAN. But eventually they got the season underway and it was actually a good watch, and it was all done on a LAN where you like to think it is controlled and cheating cannot be allowed. But there has been a very recent supposed exploit in the form of a software tool called JoyToKey, and I'll put up the description of exactly what that is here on the screen. But basically, in a nutshell, this software enables you to assign multiple commands to one button. So in this case, it'd be assigning multiple commands to one button on a driver's steering wheel. And you're probably asking, well, how is this an advantage? The issue is that you can assign almost anything to one button, but more specifically, it is rumoured that wheel drivers have been able to bind their wheels as a controller in the game, or more specifically, their pedals to be recognised or manipulated to be a controller within the game. And I myself, I used to be a controller player for over 7 to 8 years, and it is very, very common knowledge, though maybe not actually proven through a video, but on the controller you have an actual traction assist. You also have a steering assist as well, and that's because the inputs of a joystick and the triggers on the controllers, they are so sensitive that if you gave it full sensitivity, full access, people would be going from 0 to 100% straight away. And when you're using no traction, if that was the case using the controller, you would just be spinning left, right and center. So to make it a lot easier for people, they have inbuilt a traction assist, which actually does provide better traction when you actually use it correctly. So the idea of this exploit, the JoyToKey, is to manipulate the game into thinking your pedals that you are actually using, the wheel drivers, the pedals they are using, tricking the game into thinking that you're actually using a controller through the throttle and the braking, and that is going to give you this so-called traction assist. And in the world of F1 Esports, if you can even gain a half a tenth advantage or up to a tenth advantage on your competition, that is a huge advantage. Obviously, the lower level you're playing, you might not really recognize this advantage, but when you are playing at that very top 0.1%, it makes a huge difference. So you can see in the screen here, a number of esport drivers, including some esport managers, have actually openly discussed about using this tool. And again, not to say anyone is actually using it, we are just basically taking people's word for it right now. But it would not surprise me, unfortunately, again, when this is people's jobs, they are so-called athletes, you have almost $1 million on the line, people will try and exploit the game within the rules or outside of the rules in many cases. So again, it's suggested that people have been using the software tool into tricking the game that they are using the controller as their pedals and therefore gaining a significant traction and stability advantage. And the best way also to describe it is effectively like enabling an aim assist when you're playing Call of Duty. Makes the task much easier and it makes it much more accurate. But for me, even if there hasn't been extra performance or grip applied, being able to change things like this, effectively just navigating through the UI, the user interface, much easier. So instead of having to do 2 to 3 steps to do one change as you're going through a corner, which sometimes you'll have to delay things, wait until the exit the corner. If you could do multiple commands or even change things such as traction, tricking the game that you're using the controller as your pedals as you're going into a corner, on the exit of the corner, just doing those things quicker without having to pause the game or anything like that is going to give you a huge advantage. And who knows how much of an advantage this could be. But even as something as little, even as a 10th a lap at an esports level, that is going to be an absolute game changer. And you can see from the tweets here, a lot of people really do suspect this and they are not happy about the situation. So what is the actual solution? Well, for me, I think there's only really 2 solutions. Is either develop a bulletproof anti-cheat system, which I personally am not confident in Codemasters and EA actually doing, or the other one is to move esports to console. Doesn't mean to say that cheating can't be done on the console, because there still has been cases in the past, but I think the chances of that happening are significantly reduced, and it is much harder to complete and to actually interfere with the game. But please let me know what you think the solutions are and what you really think about this entire situation, because exploiting the game has always been a thing. As long as I've been a driver in league racing, even glitches such as when you coming out the pits, you pause the game, you unpause it, the tyres are then up to the perfect temperature, or even the things such as the 60 FPS glitch. Those are technically within the rules and they are kind of glitches within the game, and drivers were exploiting them. You've got to find everything you can to gain as much advantage as possible. But when people are using things outside of the game, outside of the rules, and they are costing drivers who are driving legitimately, you're paying for almost $1 million, you're costing people's careers, and you're really preventing people who are actually playing fairly to get the results they actually deserve, is no way actually acceptable. So I just really want to hear what you think. What do you really feel about the world of F1 Esports right now? Because the future of it, I think within the next few months, is going to be a big thing, because last year it didn't go particularly smoothly at the start. The game in its current state is in a little bit of a decline, and when you see leagues such as PSGL, WR, the esport leagues, they're not even confident using equal cars. This doesn't really give me confidence that the competition is going to be completed fairly. But I just really want to hear your thoughts on this. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that YouTube join button to become a YouTube member, get access to all my setups, discounts on one-to-one coaching, and visit www.coachtips.com if you want a one-to-one session with me. But please let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll be catching you very soon. Peace.